Hello, my name is Christopher, and welcome back to the No Other Gospel channel. This is the program that endeavors to help fellow believers have a better understanding of biblical truth by exposing teachings that are not in line with the gospel and are contrary to God's word. Well, today we are going to take a brief pause from doing some of that. We are going to not address some false teaching today, not address other gospels. We will get back to that next episode, but I thought it was important to do an episode about current events, and we do this from time to time, especially when it overlaps with Christianity in some way. And the topic today, the recent current event that happened over the weekend, was Hamas's despicable attack of the nation of Israel, killing hundreds of people. The count keeps going up and up day by day, and they have unprovoked surprise attacked the nation of Israel. And what a horrific scene, obviously, that's been in the news. Some of it hasn't fully been covered yet and will be covered in the days ahead, but I wanted to address that because it's shocking what happened, but it's also shocking the response that we heard from nations, from leaders, from influencers, from celebrities. Let's dig into that a bit. So I'm not going to get into all the history. I'm not going to do an in-depth analysis of that. There are plenty of people that are more intelligent than me, more well-informed than I am, that you should listen to. Ben Shapiro comes to mind, The Daily Wire, and we'll play a clip from him at the end. PragerU, Dennis Prager has great stuff in that. We'll play a brief clip of that at the end. There's a lot of people that you should listen to, and there's a lot of people that you shouldn't, because some of the responses have been horrible. People don't understand this conflict. They think that the people of Palestine are somehow, the victims always, and that Israel is the aggressor, even though Israel got attacked in this case. And somehow, literally the headline is, it's still Israel's fault some way. People want to criticize the Jews more and more. They want to criticize the Jews, the nation of Israel. And secretly, many of these people, nations, groups hope for Israel's demise. And it's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking to hear the responses from our country, from our government, from leaders. It's just a horrible thing to do. So I wanted to just address that on this episode. Israel is surrounded by countries, people that want them dead. I mean, it's in, charters. People said it. The leader of Iran and others have just said it, that is their main goal, that Jews should not exist. And then somehow people think that Israel shouldn't defend themselves. They're this tiny nation amidst people that want them dead. It's pretty simple when you look at it that way. Like, it's not a case that Israel is going out and attacking all these nations around them. It's not. Israel wants peace there. And frankly, they like to have peace with everybody else. But these terrorists, Hamas and Hezbollah specifically, keep attacking Israel and want them dead. And Israel is defending itself, and they will, and they should. They should take out Hamas, as they have started to regain control already. That is the case. And the United States should come to their aid. The United States should speak loudly. We should be Israel's ally. That is important, and we've not done a good job with that. Recently, Biden has not done a good job with that. Obama has not didn't do a good job with that. Again, we don't talk about politics on this channel, but it overlaps here with things that are important. Nations like Iran, Jordan, they all want Israel dead, not just terrorist organizations. And they prefer they're not on the map and they don't have this country. But people are informed. They've fed propaganda. They're uninformed. They're fed propaganda that something about the nation of Palestine, which has never been a nation. They talk about, I stand with Palestine, but they can't differentiate between people that are in Palestine and terrorist organizations. They don't get it. They think that Israel is just running some sort of apartheid state. You've heard that probably, and Palestine is, just getting killed by Israel. It's just not true. And then somehow they say these both sides need to come to a truce. That you can't compare Israel and Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist group that has murdered, they have raped, they have killed innocent women and children, entire families they have slaughtered. Israel is defending itself, and actually Israel makes every effort to make sure that innocent lives, that the general public that innocent civilians are not killed in conflict. They do whatever they can. You don't hear about that in the news, but they make sure that they want to kill Hamas, obviously, but and they have a right to do that. But they try to avoid innocent bloodshed. Don't compare Hamas to Israel. Don't compare Israel to other countries. It's apples to oranges. It's apples to rocks. It's not even close. Don't even put Israel in that group. That's despicable. That's revolting. Liberals in this country have become increasingly vocal against Israel. The movements for standing up for Palestine, or you've heard the groups on Harvard recently. All these groups signed this petition, horrible, against Israel, and things that doesn't make any sense. It's uninformed, and yet, on the other hand, it makes sense. We know that the Jews will be attacked, that we've seen the end as you read your scriptures all the way to the back cover. We know where this is going because God has told us, and Jews from their inception have been killed. We know the Holocaust and the horrible tragedy there, and this is also a horrible tragedy, not the millions and millions of lives, but this is not good. Jews are calling this their 9/11. It's about a similar amount so far of people that have passed away because of this, and liberals in this country do not get it, and we shouldn't listen to their lies or their propaganda. People who are fools when they speak, some of them don't speak at all. They are silent and don't even call out the terrorist attacks because they're ignorant fools. They're evil. Not only the people that are attacking Israel evil, but these people that are speaking against Israel incorrectly, unjustly, are also evil, and that needs to be called out up to the highest level of government in the United States. That is important. I just needed to get on here and say something. But again, please go to some of these places and listen to some of these videos. I'll play a quick snippet.
When I did my graduate studies at the Middle East Institute at Columbia University's School of International Affairs, I took many courses on the question of the Middle East conflict. Semester after semester, we studied the Middle East conflict as if it was the most complex conflict in the world, when in fact, it is probably the easiest conflict in the world to explain. It may be the hardest to solve, but it is the easiest.
Now listen to this. Listen to the explanation.
Easiest to explain. In a nutshell, it's this. One side wants the other side dead. Israel wants to exist as a Jewish state and to live in peace. Israel also recognizes the right of Palestinians to have their own state and to live in peace. The problem, however, is that most Palestinians and many other Muslims and Arabs do not recognize the right of the Jewish state of Israel to exist. This has been true since 1947, when the United Nations voted to divide the land called Palestine into a Jewish state and an Arab state.
So that's a pretty good synopsis. There's like 6 minutes at the beginning of this long video that's really incredible. I encourage you to listen to it. Middle East conflict and PragerU. Here is the passion of Ben Shapiro. We'll play a little bit of this. Again, you should listen to his whole show from today, October 10th, 2023.
Those have been the words of the Jewish people for 3 millennia. Those were the words of the men, women, and children of Masada. Those were the words of the followers of Bar Kokhba. Those were the words of Jews in Granada in 1066, and the Rhineland in 1096, and Khmelnytsky from 1648 to 1657, and Kishinev in 1903, and Hebron in 1929. Those were the words of Jews in Auschwitz and Treblinka. Those were the last words of Daniel Pearl. And those are my words, too. They're the words of my parents, the words of my wife, my
I am a Jew. This is the title of this video.
children. Over the weekend, my people, the Jewish people, were attacked. They were murdered, mutilated. Our women were raped. Our children were kidnapped. This has happened millions of times before to millions of Jews across history. Jew hatred exists because evil exists, because there are people who have, for literally all of human history, hated the Jews and sought to strike at them while they are weak, who have blamed the Jews for their own problems, who have crafted complex conspiracy theories about the supposed power of the Jews, who have sought to destroy, to murder, to mutilate, to rape the Jews, from Pharaoh to Haman, from Hitler to Hamas. The word.
What a great history lesson. From Pharaoh to Haman, Hitler to Hamas. Listen to that whole thing. It's incredible. Tragedy is very sobering, and what Hamas did should be ridiculed, should be reviled. They should be noted as evil. The people that support this, that won't speak out against it, that is evil. We need to support Israel. Stand with Israel. That is my point of this video. Look, they're not perfect. They're human beings. The leaders aren't perfect. Obviously, their army is not perfect. They have to make the decisions that base them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're never going to make mistakes, but as believers, we must stand with Israel. This country, the United States, must stand with Israel as they get attacked from all sides. And I'm confident of this. When the United States stops standing with Israel, and the Jewish people, our demise will be imminent. Thanks for watching.